What a crock of shit. What a crock of shit. This piece of shit right here. Top Cop, Ohio. Little punk boy.
Starting today, drivers will not be getting off the hook when it comes to distracted driving. With 6 months of warning, state officials have a simple message to drivers: put down those cell phones. Isabel Lawrence joins us now with what you need to know before hitting the road. Hi, Isabel.
Hi, Russ. Essentially, this law makes it illegal to do anything on your cell phone that requires typing, scrolling, or touching your phone more than with just a single tap or swipe while driving. So, for example, you can't watch videos, scroll through social media, FaceTime, send a text, or type in a phone number. But there are some exceptions. You can use voice to text to send a message if it's hands-free, and you can hold your phone up to your ear during a call, as long as you start and end the call with just a single touch or swipe.
Distracted driving will no longer be tolerated in the state of Ohio.
Starting today, drivers who use their cell phones behind the wheel illegally can be fined, get points on their license, and even face a license suspension. But Governor Mike DeWine made this message very clear.
What this new law is about is saving lives.
And the governor says since it's been enacted, that's already happened.
When you compare March of 2023, which was the month before the law went into effect, to September of this year, the last month of the grace period, distracted driving crashes went down nearly 30%.
The governor adding that deaths caused by distracted driving have gone down about 25% in the first 9 months of this year compared to the same time period last year. Welcome news for those who work on the roads.
If Ohio would just put their phones down and keep looking out for us, we would greatly appreciate it.
And those who patrol them.
Notifying someone that their loved one is not coming home is never easy.
But perhaps this law is the most meaningful for those who've been impacted by distracted driving, like Dom Tiberi of our sister station in Columbus, who lost his daughter.
We need to change the culture and make people understand that distracted driving is dangerous driving.
Public Safety Director Andy Wilson says it will be pretty easy to determine who is distracted on the roads, citing tells like drivers swerving, not staying in their lane, and holding their cell phones up in front of them. All behaviors this law aims to stop.
The success of this law will not be measured by the number of tickets issued. The success of this law will be measured by the number of fewer crashes and the fewer lives that are lost.
We know a lot of you are probably wondering what exactly these fines look like, so here's how it breaks down. For your first offense, you can get 2 points on your license and a fine of up to $150. Those could get waived, though, if you take an online safety course. But if you are a repeat offender, the penalties get more severe. If you have 3 or more violations in 2 years, you can get 4 points on your license, a $500 fine, and possibly even a 90-day license suspension, Russ.
The state is certainly not playing around here. All right. Isabel Lawrence in the newsroom. Thank you.
So, now we had a chance to review this, according to Mike DeWine and the mainstream news media. Let's actually get into this. What this law really is. What it's really designed for. I mean, we'll let you review it in the written form. And they're going to be high visibility enforcement efforts. I mean, this all gives nothing but law enforcement another tool to pull people over. Think about it. Where are they getting their statistics from? Exactly where are they getting this from? How do they know which accidents are distracted driving or not? And the reason why I'm asking this and pointing this out is because here in Springfield, Ohio, we're having a major issue Now this city became a, what do you call it, refugee city, whatever they call it. But there's a lot of Haitians that came here, and the city is in getting heat by the citizens and the backlash over it because there's a lot of accidents by them. School bus got, a child got killed in a school bus like a month ago. I mean, there's a lot of accidents. They drive crazy, too slow. They drive right in away into your way. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. But yet the city is arguing back that it's the citizens driving, speeding. They're like totally unaccountable for anything that's going on. They're acting like they don't know how the Haitians got here. That wasn't part of them. That some church did it. And they got all these Haitians coming from Florida, and they're projecting to bring in like 7,000 more to this little city that's overcapacitated as is. This city is off the hook. There's shootings. I mean, people do a lot of house shootings. Shoot you on the sidewalk, shoot you in your car. And it's mostly young kids. But the sad part of that is these young kids that's doing the shooting, and the young men, almost every one of them that's doing the major shooting, never gets charged. If they do, they get released. They get caught with the gun, they get released. Now, the people that shoot back at them or fight back, they get charges. My son is doing 3 years for returning fire after being shot at over 20 something times. He fired one time back, and the way they got the charges, they split them up in several different charges and gave him the max on each charge. So he ends up doing 3 years as a juvenile because people were trying to kill him. And that's sad. But anyway, back to the story. Like Springfield, it's off the hook. I got to do a real story on this because our cops here still to the day refuse to get body worn cameras. I mean, you could look through the court records and all that over and over. They arrest people for a passenger in the car refusing to identify. They call it failure to obey a direction of a police officer. And they charge you here and they put you in jail and all this stuff. The courts don't seem to have a problem with it. So I'm kind of leery, like going out right now to do any kind of cop watching. Yeah, I'll have a camera, but right now I don't have the ability to do live stream. So without that, I don't have no backup. I don't have nobody to go out there in the streets with me brave enough to face this challenge. But, the city had its chance to fix the police department. This was like a few months back, a year or so, not that long ago. When the captain visit, the chief of police position came open, they had some good candidates from outside. They had some assistant police chiefs from Columbus and several major cities. And what did they do? They turned around and not hire, but promoted a quota hire that was already in the department. And guess what? Nothing's changed. Same old, same old. They just kept their stuff rolling, and they are crooked. They do not honor the Constitution. They're in constant violation of it. So I want to expose them, but I need, a little backup on that. That's why I'm trying to be able to get to the live part. But I need 1,000 subscribers or more to be able to do so. So at this time, if you would like, please subscribe, like, and share. But this is just another tool, another measurement just to take over our rights. You know, they're screaming for safety. But, you know, it's already been said, give up a little bit of freedom for safety is to give it all up. You'll have neither safety nor freedom. And our governor here in Ohio, I mean, he has a long history. He is like really top dictatorship. He goes against his own people, the Republican Party, by the way. Um, he runs the show like he wants to run it. And he's from way back in the Vornovich days when Ohio had a governor called George Vornovich. Those two are what helped create the police state here in Ohio. They're the ones that ushered in and made sure of the mass incarcerations. They built over 40 something prisons in a very, like, what, couple years span. I mean, and everything, if you look at his record and review back in his history, this guy is off the hook when it comes to cops. He's the same one when the Circleville Police Canine Unit, big old story where he released a dog where the guy was already surrendering. Truck driver is on his hands and on his knees, with his hands behind his head. Released the dog on him against the orders of the Ohio State Patrol. He ended up getting fired, but not because he released the dog and did all that, but because they said he was a crybaby, because he was real concerned and talking to too many people and telling too much to each other during their investigation. That's the only reason why he got fired. But not Vornovich, Mike DeWine, which is Vornovich's puppet installed into the government, yeah, it's crazy. So, this crazy dude, Mike DeWine, governor of Ohio, has a complete history of being tyrannical, jackboot thug pig. I mean, he is off the hook. He has a long history. He is not the friend of the state. He is the enemy of the people, number one, here in Ohio. He helped shape this into a prison state. He's one of the ones that helped all this come about from way back from the 80s all the way up till now. I don't know how he became governor. But anyway, it's this guy right here. It's to the point he would back the cops even if they put a gun to your head and just pulled the trigger with no probable cause, no explanation, just walking up in the middle of broad daylight. He would justify the cop. He would find reasons to cover the police. You can check him out. He has a history, long, long history. So, with his new law, he's giving them absolute power to pull you over now if they suspect you. It's relating back in Ohio, like where a lot of these little towns ain't still in today's age do not have body worn cameras. And their dash cameras is iffy too, because I don't see a lot of that. It's only certain cars, and they only got one dude. He comes around with just a regular camera to go snap pictures. Meanwhile, the murder rate and shooting is continued. They don't de-escalate. The robberies, and all these, nothing's done. Traffic stops and petty crime, they're on it. Anything to violate the rights of the hard working citizens. And this absolute power is to what? You think this is really for our safety? Is this really what this is about? Or is it really actually due to here in Ohio them trying to keep you from recording the police There's a lot of that's why there's not a lot of auditors actually go around in all the cities. Here and there, but not all these cities, because you will go to jail and they will violate you. You'll have to go through all that to even try to get it to federal. And a lot of people want to do that. And not too many people willing to speak up about it. It's like you have that, and then you have all these bootlickers. That's crazy. It's like they can't see past themselves. That thin blue line blinded them, and they can't see past it. They've been told that these are honor scouts, merit cops. Like they tried to teach you back in the 70s and 80s that these are the heroes, and the special people that was going to help society, protect society, and help keep us free, and all that BS that turned out to be. They become just like they used to try to tell us how Russia was back when I was a kid growing up. It was real patriotic. Everything USA made, everybody's patriotic. We was all against the Russians, and we was told how their police were and all this stuff, and how they pull you over and you didn't have no rights. It was funny because cameramen have more rights in Russia than it does in the United States today. It's pathetic. I'm relating this together because that's what the move is, because guys like to pull you over for flipping them off, violate your constitutional rights. They don't want you to have a camera. And anything they want to pull you over for, they can say they've seen you. They're saying there's exceptions to the rule, and that being if you got the phone to your ear and you only swipe once. Now, how you going to prove you only did that if the cop's sitting there telling a whole different story and you ain't got it on camera? How are you going to explain that? It's your word against the cop, and guess who? In Ohio, they have a tendency to rule with the cops. It's a big money racket, and we all know it. But I thought I'd bring this to your attention, let you see how they keep on encroaching on our rights, developing more tools to come against us, and using our safety as the pretext to do so. Now watch. There's going to be a lot of pullovers. And a lot's going to happen with this new tool that they have. It's going to give them far more than they have now, which is already way too much as is. Let me know what your comments, what your thoughts and opinions are, what you gathered out of this content. Watching the video and what they're saying. Put your comments in the comment section, for real. I need comments. I need feedback from everybody. That way I can keep producing these videos and know what my viewers like to see, what you want to hear about, and how we can break it down. I'll end this with this today. Thank you for coming by. Secure Our Rights Official News Media, U.S. Press. Have